Gareth Head of Grounds at Craven Cottage. So initially I started out, I was reasonably good at golf, and I wasn't actually as good as what I initially thought. So I managed to get a job working in golf courses, spent sort of 10 to 15 years doing that back home, and then went travelling for a bit. And it was always a dream of mine to work at a Premier League football club. So whenever I come back from travelling, I managed to land a job at another Premier League football club, and it all started from there. At the Cottage at the minute, we have a qualified groundsman and an apprentice groundsman, but we have a new deputy coming in the next month or two. So there'll be 4 here at the Cottage, and then there's another team of about 9, I think, over at the training ground.
And do the guys at the training grounds, they try and replicate the Cottage pitch, so the boys are trained on something that feels similar to match day?
Yeah, so that's one of our main objectives, because obviously, you know, being in the Premier League, everything has to be like an even playing field. So the first team pitches they train on, we actually try and replicate their pitches, because that's what they train on, and it's sort of 4 or 5 days a week.
Oh, obviously the pitch is having its off season now.
Yeah.
It looks very different at the moment behind you. Can you talk us through what's going on here and just what summer looks like for you?
Yeah, so last week we done our seasonal renovation. At the minute, it's just literally seed, some fertiliser and some sand on top. First of all, we start with what's called the dry jet, and it actually injects sand into the makeup of the pitch. Then what we do is we take the top off, anything between sort of 15 and 20 mil off the top. We would then put on anything between 80 and 100 tonne of sand on top of that. And as you can see, you'll see it like it looks green. It's actually fibres which are stitched into the pitch. So they should sit about 20 mil above the surface. And what actually happens is the grass roots around that and ties around that, making it a real stable surface. So that's literally what we're waiting on now. You know, if something goes wrong on the pitch or something fails on the pitch, you know, it's my personal pride, you know, and I want to create the best surface possible for the first team and whoever plays here, you know. So it's all down to me in that regard. There's always pressure, because you have pressure from the powers that be above, but also you put pressure on yourself because you want to produce the best pitch possible. And I think this year is sort of credit to the ground staff past and present. We did manage to get within the top 5 of Pitch of the Year Premier League this season. So it just sets the benchmark for us moving forward. So next season there is a little bit more pressure to try and get that #1 spot.
When the draw for the FA Cup or Carabao Cup's being done, as a ground staff, are you praying for away games all the time?
All the time. Every single groundsman in the country is praying for an away draw. We can't help it.
The start of the season a couple of years ago, an opposition manager, he made a comment about our pitch being too dry after his team failed to win here, which we saw it being watered before the game. But do you take comments like that with a pinch of salt? Do you find them funny?
Oh yeah, nah, you just have to laugh. I mean, you know, if you look back at that fixture, I think that manager's now not in the Premier League. It was about 30 degrees that day, you know, and a slight wind, so the water isn't going to last, you know, through 45 minutes of a game. After about 10, 15 minutes, it's completely gone, so there's not much we can do.
And just finally, do you have an immaculate garden at home?
No, I don't.
Bit of a busman's holiday, do you?
Yeah.